Where words fail, music speaks. Music has the power to communicate, to convey emotion, to inspire change, and to bring an entire 8th grade class to tears on a bus back from Pennsylvania. There is no greater feeling than hearing the crashing of cymbals, the sonorous boom of a symphony, the melodic voice of a singer, the silent tension as the audience holds their breath, waiting for more. Whether it be Taylor Swift or Tchaikovsky, music has always been a big part of my life. This passion has lifted me through the darkest situations and helped me become the person I am today. Longer than I can remember, I've been tapping my foot to ABBA and falling asleep to Mozart. It is no wonder that I've always wanted to create the sounds that thrilled me each day and wanted to learn an instrument. On my 5th birthday, I was surprised to discover a keyboard waiting in my basement, the start of my music career, and many headaches for my parents. The first few days, I could spend hours just banging on the keys, trying to figure out the tune to songs like Happy Birthday and Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I began lessons when I was 6 and have been playing the piano for 7 years. Piano has provided an outlet for me ever since. There's no better way to relax and wind down after a long day than doing something you love. Music has other uses too, such as using it to annoy your brother by practicing the same song over and over while he's trying to watch TV. Not that I would know. Not only that, but from recitals to piano festivals, performance has made me a more confident person. Because I began performing at a young age, I learned how to overcome fear. When performing live, anything can happen, but I've learned to always keep going no matter what. I remember my first piano festival last year. I had been practicing my pieces for months before, cementing every note and rhythm in my head. I was so nervous the day of the festival as I handed my music to the judges and sat down at the enormous Steinway grand piano. My hands were shaking, and as I was playing, the music I had spent so long memorizing flew out of my head. I was in the middle of playing a beautiful waltz when I suddenly stopped, not remembering what came next. I was trembling, but I knew I had to keep going, and kept on playing something, trying to make the gap as seamless as possible. While I was disappointed that after all that practice, I still wasn't able to deliver my best performance at last year's festival, I didn't give up. Rather, that experience made me even more determined for this year's festival. This year, I tamed my nerves, and rather than focusing on plunking out each individual note and rhythm, I focused on the greater musicality of the pieces I performed. Even though my heart was pounding, I kept playing, and despite the judges keenly listening for mistakes, I found myself enjoying the performance. In the end, it was rewarding, for I earned 5 out of 5 stars on this year's festival. When I was 7, I had my first violin lesson. Under the Suzuki method, my teacher would balance pennies on my fingers, beanbags on my head, candy canes under my fingers, and more beanbags on my shoulders, all in an effort to teach me good posture. Then we would march around the music store, playing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and scaring away all the customers. Through the past 6 years, I've learned to translate emotions into my fingertips and play a variety of genres on the violin. When my dad was younger, he learned violin in India. The Indian, or Carnatic style of violin is very different from Western violin. My brother also learns the Carnatic style of violin, and I was the first in my family to learn a Western style of music. The violin has served as a bridge between cultures for me. Whenever I travel to India, I make sure to bring my violin along with me and play for my grandparents, cousins, aunts, and uncles. My grandparents are always fascinated by how the violin, an instrument they have heard so many times in the Carnatic style, can sound so different in the Western style. Recently, my younger cousin even started lessons on the piano. Even though she lives in India, we are connected by our love for music, and we love to send each other videos. The violin has opened so many new opportunities for me. In 4th and 5th grade at Burr Elementary School, I played in an orchestra for the first time. I had a lot of fun sharing the joy of learning an instrument with others. In 5th grade, I was selected for the Fairfield Townwide 5th Grade Honors Orchestra. There, I played alongside other 5th graders from across town who shared my love for orchestra. That year was also the Townwide Orchestra Festival, where every orchestra student in elementary, middle, and high school in Fairfield came together to perform. For our finale, I was one of hundreds of students playing a part in Mozart's Eine kleine Nacht music. I still remember the feeling of awe as I watched the vibrato of high school chamber musicians, hoping that one day I could be one of them. I can hardly believe I'm only a few months away. When I joined UNCWA in 6th grade, I knew that my orchestra career would not stop. I auditioned and joined the Greater Bridgeport Youth Orchestras, or GBYO. I have since progressed from a string orchestra to full symphony orchestras, complete with percussion, winds, and brass. Every Saturday, rather than sleeping in, I wake up early to go to rehearsals at GBYO, the place where music is made and friendships are forged. As an orchestra, we share each other's stress, lift each other up, and celebrate each other's successes. In 6th grade, I knew no one in my orchestra, but now I've made so many close friends. I've realized that orchestra is really like a team sport. It is similar to a basketball game, where each role intertwines, and the ball, or the melody, is passed around. But regardless, every player shares the same ultimate goal. The summer after 6th grade, I began attending the Chamber Music Central camp. In an orchestra, a dozen other people play the same part as me. However, in chamber music, only one person plays each part in smaller ensembles, and there's no conductor to hold us together. I was placed as the first violin in a quartet and in a piano trio, and I eagerly practiced my music until the first day of camp in July. I didn't know anyone else in the camp, and I was so nervous to meet everyone on the first day. The camp actually takes over the Umpqua building to rehearse over the summer, filling these halls with the sounds of music. I know what you're thinking. School? Over the summer? Believe me, 2 weeks, 3 concerts, many hours of practice together, and a lot of fun later. I had made so many close friends, and I was sad to leave. In our final concert that year, my quartet opened the concert, and as my heart raced, I counted off my quartet, my sniff cueing the start of our song. Chamber Music Camp is always a wonderful experience where I feel at home with those who love music just as much as I do. This summer will be my 3rd summer with them. Recently, I've discovered that performance means so much more than the applause that follows. It is an incredible force for good. I want to harness my passion for music and use it to help others. For example, over March vacation, my orchestra and I collaborated with the Fairfield County Children's Choir to deliver a benefit concert for the Mikey's Way Foundation, a charity that helps kids cope with cancer. Next weekend, I'm performing with my piano studio to help supply clothing for underprivileged kids over the summer. Locally, next year I will be volunteering with an organization called KEYS, whose mission is a cause that is very important to me. KEYS' mission is to bring one-to-one instrument lessons and group music instruction to underserved inner-city children in Bridgeport, Connecticut, who have no other access to this empowering life experience. I hope to channel my passion to make a difference in my community, and I challenge you to do the same. I've always wondered what it is about the piano and violin that always draws me back. I've realized that it is just pure passion, from the moment the conductor raises the baton to hearing the distant applause after a performance and touching the lives of others along the way. Music is so much more than just entertainment. It has the capacity to bring people together through vivid emotion, and more importantly, it can change the world. Every performance has its successes and stumbles, but this passion has carried me through every step and enabled me to form lifelong friendships. Through music, I've learned to navigate the nuances of life, its fortes and pianos, and all the crescendos and diminuendos in between. I'd now like to share with you a piece on the violin.